I'm excited to talk about GLP-3 tonight. We showed this at Dallas, and I'm showing this again because this, in a nutshell, talks about what this product does. Before I talk about what it does, and before I talk about some of the science, I want us to understand that we need to keep things simple. Simple, simple, simple. Sometimes in our zeal, we want to start talking about geeky things, and that's me, right? Preaching to the choir, right? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, right? There's this peptide and it binds to this receptor and it causes signal transduction cascades and blah, 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 and it turns on the blah, blah, blah gene. That's great. And it's important, but it's not important if we're going to change lives. The most important thing is losing weight, changing our lives, changing the lives of those people that we love around us. And, right, our goal is to change the lives of the 8.1 billion people living on the planet. So we need to keep it simple, simple, simple. And the simple message of GLP-3, it obliterates food cravings. We all know about food cravings. They're real, they're powerful. Sometimes they're so powerful that they can control us. They can control what we do. How many times have we said, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to eat dessert," and then brownies and ice cream come out, or the restaurant is like, "Do you want to look at the dessert menu?" And a voice that sounds astonishingly like your own is like, "Yes, I would." Like what the, So food cravings, big deal. Food noise is another word for it that scientists talk about, where basically the volume on craving food is turned up. And for some people, it's turned up like a rock concert where it's on all the time when you're awake, when you're asleep, when you're at work, when you're at home. It's just relentless. And what this product does, because of our MBC 267 peptide complex, is it obliterates food cravings. Those cravings are gone, and you'll hear some of that later tonight. And because food cravings are gone, because metabolism is back into balance, we drop the pounds. Because weight loss is a beneficial side effect of bringing everything back into balance. And I love that video that was played, and our marketing team did such a great job on that, because losing weight is not just, like it said, it's not just a matter of willpower. It's not just a matter of discipline that we need to pull up our big person pants and just try harder. It's science. We need to remove those impediments. We need to remove those roadblocks. We need to obliterate food cravings, and that's what this does. Now, GLP-1 is a hot target. There's a lot of other approaches to target GLP-1. Most of those approaches reduce lean muscle mass. We lose muscle, and you've probably seen this. You've probably heard it from a lot of people. You've probably seen pictures online in the news, on social media. It's a big deal. If we're losing weight, but we're losing muscle with it, in my opinion, that's actually worse than if you were to retain some of that weight, because muscle is vital for human health. And what we're so excited about is our clinical studies on GLP-3 have shown that we can drop the pounds, we can reduce food cravings, and we can retain lean muscle mass all at the same time. And there's no other product on the planet that does that. So we're really excited about that. Keeping it simple, just remember, this is Mother Nature's GLP-1. So there's other synthetic GLP-1 products that activate the GLP-1 receptor. This is Mother Nature's version. And we've talked about that before, right? When we're at a meeting, we've said, wouldn't it be nice if there was a natural molecule in this place that could help with this condition, or a natural molecule in that place that could help with that condition? You remember when I was talking about that? Well, what we found is we found natural molecules in salmon and in mushrooms that can activate the GLP-1 receptor. Now, I want to make this clear. There's a lot of GLP-1 supplements out there, and there's a lot of companies that have launched GLP-1 supplements recently. But all of those supplements, what they do is they activate the GLP-1 enzyme itself. And we already do that. I don't know if you remember, but when we published our epigenetic clinical study, we showed that Vitalite upregulates GLP-1 gene by 348%. Revive upregulates that gene by 293%. So we already have GLP-1 support and activation. What we're doing here is we're activating the receptor, just like those synthetic GLP-1 products that are out there. And there's no other nutritional supplement that activates the GLP-1 receptor. Okay, now let's be careful. We don't want to go too geeky and into the science and what that, but we need to understand that's what we're offering here. This truly is a unique, one-of-a-kind product, and it's powerful, and it works by this unique mechanism. And what powers it? New molecules, new peptides to be exact. Now, a lot of you have heard of peptides, I'm sure. Peptides have been huge for the last 18, 24 months. Peptides, peptides, peptides. Well, what does that mean? Well, peptide is a class of molecules. They're amino acids that are strung together, and they're short in nature. They're usually anywhere from 15 to 45 amino acids strung together. And these amino acids, they target receptors in the body. Peptides are actually like keys, and they slide into receptors in the body like a keyhole, and then you turn that key and you can open up a door, you can raise a gate, you can open up a car, you can provide functional benefits to the body by targeting these receptors. And so what we found, it's called NBC 267 because there's 267 naturally occurring peptides in here. Now, when we talk about pharmaceuticals, right, you use one drug to do something. That's called monopharmacology. What we do here at Three is we use multiple beautiful, powerful, natural molecules. In this case, 267 peptides from salmon and from mushrooms that cause a beautiful, powerful, beneficial response without the negative side effect that's seen with synthetic drugs. Synthetic drugs in our key and receptor analogy is basically like putting the key into the lock and twisting it where you break the key off. Well, okay, I guess the door is open, but that's not going to be beneficial for people. These natural peptides slide in and they slide out. And then the next thing that we have is our cellular absorption technology. So what we do is we have two different cellular absorption technologies. We have our adjuvant technology and our polyphenol complexation technologies. And these technologies ensure that all these 267 beautiful peptides and the other ingredients in the product are absorbed into the cell. And this is tricky because a lot of peptides, especially peptides that mimic GLP-1, they're not absorbed into the cell, right? And so people have to take extreme measures in order to get it into the body. Listen to me when I say this. One of the things we do here at Three is we are the world leader in cellular absorption. I've spent my career, 20 years of my career, figuring out new ways to make sure these beautiful organic molecules get into the cell. And so we have two different cellular absorption technologies that help us to do that. And then the next slide here. Okay, now I'm really excited to show this. As I mentioned in Dallas, we have clinical data on GLP-3. We show that it activates the GLP-1 receptor. It activates a GLP-2 receptor. It activates a really cool receptor called GIP. And we have clinical data on our NBC 267 complex. But the most important thing, in my mind, clinical studies are good and they provide validation. But the thing about clinical studies is they're so tightly controlled. Everybody has to eat the same thing. Everybody has to do the same thing. They have to go to sleep at the same time. They have to wake up at the same time. And that's good in order to prove something works. But what I'm showing you right now is results of people who have taken our GLP-3 over the last, 5, 10, 15 days, and the results that they've seen. Each of these data points is a person, where if you look at the bottom, the number of days that they've been taking GLP-3, and then if you look on the left and going up, the number of pounds that that person has lost. And then what's really cool is when you put all these data points together, this makes like a scatter plot. Do you remember? This is like back, in freshman college classes or whatnot when they teach you how to use Excel. And then once you have a scatter plot, you can actually add a trend line to it. And so I've added a trend line to it. And this line begins at 0 because, right, we all started not taking GLP-3 and then we took it. And then what's really cool is you can add an equation for this trend line, right? And if you notice on the right, we have this equation. Don't you love equations? They're just a beautiful thing. But anyways, what this equation says is that every time that someone takes GLP-3, for every day that they take it, they lose a pound. Isn't that cool? For every day that you take it, you see this equation, X there. X means the number of days. If you take it one day, you're going to lose 1 pound. If you take it 5 days, you're going to lose 5 pounds. I mean, that's the data that we're seeing here. And so this is powerful. This shows how demonstrable this product is. And in all my years in the industry, and I've been blessed to formulate some really cool, really powerful products. And we've been on a journey together with a lot of these powerful products. But this product, the demonstrability of it, how fast it works, not just dropping pounds, but the food craving, the food noise is gone. And I'm sure we're going to hear some marvelous things about that here in a minute. But this is powerful, powerful results. Let's go to the next slide. It's like Jeopardy. Okay, other benefits that this product has. So you've probably heard and you've probably read about GLP-1. GLP-1 is a master regulator in the body. So it can help with weight loss, but it can help with so many other things. So GLP-1 is actually, everybody should take a multivitamin. Everybody should take Vitalite to be exact, because that contains all the enzymes or probiotics or prebiotics, everything the body needs for proper function. Well, science the last few years has shown that just as important as a multivitamin, everybody should be taking something that truly activates the GLP-1 receptor without loss of lean muscle mass. Now, up to this point, there hasn't been that type of a product. But what I'm saying is GLP-3 is something that people should take every day for the rest of their life. And some people will be like, well, I'm actually happy at my weight. I feel like I'm at my target weight. Do I need to take GLP-3? The answer is yes, you do. Because GLP-3 helps with mood boost, the top left on that slide. GLP-3 increases endorphins. It helps you sleep better. It gives you more energy. And it controls blood sugar and blood glucose levels. So, my friends, if you haven't tried GLP-3, get it, try it, use it. You'll feel the difference. You'll see the benefit. And join us on this GLP-1 wave as we transform human health, not only for your life, your families, but around the world. Thank you so much.